Hello from Seoul. I'm pretty sure you already have the best jjajangmyeon recipe. You don't have to thank me. You're welcome. But if you haven't tried this red jjajangmyeon, you're making the biggest mistake in your life. Today we're making jjajangmyeon, but it's not gonna be black. We're gonna be making it red. Now some of you might ask, Aaron, I've never heard of it. Does it really exist? Well, the name of this dish is Sacheon Jjajang, Sichuan style jjajangmyeon. But I don't think you can see this in Sichuan province because it's a Korean Chinese dish that only exists in Korea. The taste? If you love mapo tofu and jjajangmyeon, trust me, this will definitely be your type of thing. Alright, enough talking. Let's get started. For this, you will need some pork, onion, cabbage, green onions, garlic, ginger, cucumber, and noodles. For the noodles, I recommend using this kind of nice and thick Asian style with noodles because the taste will be different from the original jjajangmyeon, but the ingredients, texture, and cooking steps, they are pretty much the same. What? There's no way to get this? Then you can substitute with Japanese udon noodles or Korean knife cut noodles. Don't worry about it. Those two bad boys will give you a good result. Alright, let's start prepping our ingredients. First, cut 300 grams of pork belly into thin strips. Like I said earlier, this dish is very similar to Korean black bean noodles. So just like making jjajangmyeon, I do recommend using some fatty parts. When all the veggies and sauce are cooked in this beautiful pork fat, trust me, it's gonna be amazing. What? You prefer to use seafood? Don't worry about it. You can use all kinds of seafood like shrimp, squid, or even octopus. But like I said earlier, the fat from the pork really elevates this dish to the next level. So if you're not gonna use the pork, I recommend using some lard here. Next, get yourself one large onion and just cut it into cubes. If you're using some ground pork from your fridge, then I recommend finely dicing the onion. They'll blend in nicely with the ground pork and you'll feel like you're eating some delicious Chinese style ragu sauce. Once that's done, take 2 or 3 cabbage leaves and cut them into nice bite-sized pieces. I'm adding this cabbage just because I want some different textures in the sauce, but if you don't have it right now, then you can just go with the onion. No problem at all. This time, I'll love green onion. Grab 3 or 4 green onions and just thinly slice them. Today, we're just gonna cook them in some oil, not gonna use for our garnish. So you don't have to separate the whites and greens, so leave them alone. Let them love each other. And then smash 2 cloves of garlic and finely chop it. Once that's done, grate a small knob of ginger, about 1 teaspoon. Here, some of you might want me to say it's optional, but my answer is no. This is necessary because the combination of pork and ginger is just truly amazing. You may not want to miss that, so if it's not like 2 a.m. in the morning, make sure to use some. You won't regret it. Lastly, let's julienne some cucumber for our garnish. If you're not a big fan of cucumbers, you could also garnish with green peas, but in my humble opinion, they can be better than this refreshing cucumber. Now let's move on to the sauce. In a small container, add 1 tablespoon of Korean chili pepper flakes, 1.5 tablespoons of Chinese chili bean paste, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of mirin, and give it a good mix. Normally, when you order this dish at restaurants, they ask you how spicy you want it, which means it's totally okay to adjust the level of spiciness. So if you want to make it less spicy, you can reduce the Korean chili pepper flakes and Chinese chili bean paste. I told you already, but because your stomach is so sensitive, so if you feel something burst down there in the middle of dating, I'm not responsible. Alright, the prep is almost done. Let's make some cornstarch slurry with 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch and 4 tablespoons of water. Finally, it's cooking time. In a large wok, add 2 tablespoons of chili oil and place it over high heat. Like I said earlier, if you want to make it less spicy here, instead of chili oil, you can just use neutral oil or lard. Or, if you really enjoy the mala flavor, you can mix the chili oil with the Sichuan peppercorn flavored oil. It's totally up to you, but I have a date tonight, so I'm just gonna go with chili oil. Once it gets nice and hot, add the pork belly and cook for about 1 to 2 minutes or until no longer pink. If you've got enough fat from the pork, throw in your green onions, garlic, and ginger and infuse all the good flavors for about 1 to 2 minutes. Once the pork starts to get golden brown, add in your onion, cabbage, and stir fry them for about 2 minutes. When the veggies become translucent, pour in our sauce and toast it together for another 1 to 2 minutes. That's it! It's unbelievably simple, right? Now all you need to do is just add the cornstarch slurry that we prepared earlier and give it a final mix. There's nothing complicated, right? The next step is totally optional, but if you want to add some mala flavor to the sauce, you can add some Sichuan peppercorn flavored oil here. About 1 teaspoon will be enough. Alright, the sauce is done. Let's set it aside and prepare our noodles. Fill your pot with some water and bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, add your noodles and cook according to the package instructions. When the noodles are cooked, you can just serve them with some sauce, and that's it. But serving this dish without a crispy fried egg, that's kind of a crime. So let's go ahead and quickly make a fried egg. Get yourself another pan, add a generous amount of oil, and heat it over medium-high heat. Once it gets nice and hot, not necessarily super hot, crack in 1 or 2 eggs and tilt the pan so that eggs can kind of fry in it. That's it! Couldn't be any easier, right? Alright, the egg is done. It's time to assemble. Place some noodles in a serving bowl, but make sure they are well drained. Otherwise, extra water stuck to the noodles can dilute our sauce. And then add a generous amount of sauce over the noodles. For information, this sauce also goes well with rice. So if you run out of noodles, serve it with some rice. That's gonna be fantastic too. What? You wanna know this kind of tip more and more? I'm so glad you brought that up, because everything you need is in this one book. Trust me, with this one book, you can cook more than 100 Korean dishes like a pro. So don't forget to check it out. The link is in the description. Last but not least, let's put some fried egg and cucumbers for our garnish. How does it look? Looks absolutely delicious, right? You wanna know how it tastes? Alright, let's call our taste tester.
Claire?
비주얼 미쳤네. 너무 이쁘다. This is a quite popular Korean Chinese dish, but believe it or not, this is my first time to try this dish. This is what happens when you just order the same dish over and over again. Because I always order just normal jjajangmyeon. Don't do it like me. Anyways, I'm super excited. Let's give it a try. 오, 너무 예쁘다. To fully enjoy this dish, you gotta mix it thoroughly. Like this. 와, 너무 맛있어 보이잖아. 확실히 그 원래 먹던 짜장면이랑 향은 조금 다르네. 그 뭔가 시추안 페퍼콘의 향이 느껴지는구만. 간다. 맛있다. 만약 짜장면이랑 마파두부가 애기가 있다면 딱 그 애기 생김새가 요건 것 같아. 맛이 딱 그 느낌이야. 사천짜장이라고 해서 엄청 매울까봐 사실 걱정은 조금은 했거든? 근데 그 마라의 향이 과하지 않고 되게 기분 좋은 느낌으로다가 샥 스며들어 있어. 맛있네. 오 마이 갓. 이제 짜장면이랑 짬뽕이랑 라이벌이 한 놈 더 생겼어. It's gonna be so difficult to choose. 왜 좋아하는지는 알겠다. 사람들이 왜 요거를 또 좋아하는지 알겠네. 소시하면서 중간중간에 야채들도 양파랑 양배추랑 이런 애들이 너무 숨이 확 죽은 것도 아니고 그렇다고 너무 센 것도 아니고 완벽하게 딱 내가 좋아하는 정도로 조리가 된 것 같아서 마음에 드네. This is not necessary, but this 단무지 will bring this kind of Korean Chinese dishes to the next level. So if possible, try to serve it with this. 이 맛을 촥촥 끌어줘. Oh my god, isn't it so beautiful? And it's covered with the sauce on the bottom. 요즘에 내가 좋아하는 꽂힌 정도로 딱 조리가 잘 됐네. 맛있잖아. 엄청 맵다고 할 순 없지만 그래도 여전히 매운 사람들한테 이게 아마 구세주가 될 것 같아. amazing.
Today, I showed you how to make Sacheon Jjajang, one of the greatest Korean Chinese noodle dishes of all time. How was it? It's fantastic, right? If you're a big fan of Jjajangmyeon, but you need a little bit of a break from the bad boy, this is it. This numbing, spicy, super fragrant noodle dish will definitely be a solution. I guarantee it. Alright, this is it for today, and I'll see you next time.